to the padded room with DJ Waffles.
You already know what it is. Your boy DJ Waffles on the check-in. And listen, it's the Know and Grow special edition podcast that I'm going to be sitting down with my special guy right now. I'm going to let him introduce himself. This is interesting.
How everybody doing? My name is Ray Daniels, a.k.a. the Culture Referee, a.k.a. I'm here to just talk to the people about whatever they want to talk about. Let's go.
So tell me the name, the moniker, the Culture Referee. Like,
Where
why?
that come from?
Yes.
Well, people think that I'm on a podcast talking crazy as a like for entertainment, but that's me naturally. Mm-hmm. Like we was just arguing a few seconds ago before we got on here. Like I'm naturally that person. So Kasim Reed, former mayor of Atlanta, we was at a table. It was like one of them little private rooms, and we was arguing over who was the most powerful man in the world: Jay-Z, powerful black man, Jay-Z or Obama. Okay. And I'm at the table just going crazy for Jay-Z. And everybody's like, Kasim was like, man, you're like a culture referee, man. Like, you just like, you stand on everything. So the moniker kind of stuck with me. So here it is.
I've watched your show and I've seen how you operate when it comes to information gathering from people that you sit on it. And it does seem like you have a huge opinion when it comes to like how you feel about things. And if it ain't your way, like I seen when you talked to Dame, it was like kind of aggressive. But I felt, I was like with you, I was like, I was with where you was at with it. I was like, I'm riding with him. But I'm like, Dame is just in a whole nother bag with that. How do you feel about that when you sit down with people and they get argumentative with you on the show?
I love it. I like to argue. Like I can argue all day. Like I like to argue. Like to me, arguing is like sparring, like verbal sparring. Like where can you allow your brain to go to prove your point?
Okay.
So I just love arguing anyways. So the funny thing is I wanted to argue with Dame. And now we cool. That was like our first time really talking. We talk way more now. So we got to do one more, but we just talk it out. But I like arguing. Arguing is fun to me.
So does that help when you work with artists?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to convince people to do things without having some kind of proof in the argument or just something that says, here's why we should do it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's hard to just tell an artist, like, this is what you need to do to win, right? You got to tell them, you lead with a story. Like, here's a story about this artist, and here's what they thought. Like, I'm seeing some Reebok right now. So I saw this interview with the CEO of Reebok, and he spoke about how Reebok went from basically being obsolete in 1989 to 1990. Like, they went from making $9 million in 1989 to, I think, $900 million in 1990. Who they
signed at that time?
They didn't sign anybody.
Oh, wow.
But they were looking for the white space, which I've never heard that term before. So, and basically Nike and Adidas had the athletic wear lock. So basketball, baseball, football, and Reebok was trying to break in. So they broke in with aerobics. Mm-hmm. And it was just a different way of looking at it. So for me, I like arguing because I like learning. And it's what's more engaging than arguing. Mm-hmm. It's more engaging than that. You know, you got to be sharp and on point. So
definitely,
it's just a skill I've maintained over the last few years.
So let me ask you this: how do you work with artists like now that's coming into the industry now, compared to the Beyoncés, the Lizzos, the people that you worked with back then, compared to now? Like how do you have those conversations with them now and trying to groom them?
That's a good question. It's the same, and the reason why is because I'm naturally a coach, and our job is to move the goalposts, right? It's kind of like if my goal is to get you to one point, once I get you to that one point, what's next? Mm-hmm. Are we going to stay there and celebrate being there? Or are we going to move the goalposts for another point for us to get to? Mm-hmm. So whether you're working with a new or established artist like a Beyonce or a Lizzo, whoever, well, when we work with Lizzo, she wasn't established. Mm-hmm. But if you work with established artists, it's kind of like, well, this is what they've established, but here's what they're trying to do now. Mm-hmm. So if you work with a new artist, this is where they are, but this is what they're trying to do now.
Right.
The conversation is one and the same. It's just, we know what you've done, but what are we doing? We don't just go in the room and work. We have a reason for it.
So you as a manager, how do you mold the mentality to keep them winning? Like if they fail, like how do you work with them mentally to keep on going? Because I feel like nowadays, the way that artists come up, if they can't hit again like they hit the first time, it sends them in a downward spiral and they start to do all this weird stuff on social media. How do you coach them to keep them the straight and narrow, to keep on going if they don't hit the same way that they hit in the beginning?
I don't think you can coach people to hit straight and narrow. I think developing an artist is just the same way as developing a human. It's like when you have kids and you tell your kids don't do something.
Right.
They might not take you serious and might do it and then burn their hand, cut their hand, bleed, whatever it is. Now they're crying. Now you're like, well, now life taught you.
Right.
So now next time daddy tells you something. So I think the answer to that question would be like with any artist I work with, I just stay in it with them. Like as long as they're in it, I'm in it. If they don't want to be in it no more, then I'll just use my time to do something else because what we don't talk about is like everybody has to go through a process. Everybody has to grow and you can't force anything. So all you really can do is plant seeds, water them, and then wake up tomorrow and do the same thing somewhere else. You know what I mean? And then wash the seeds you water, maybe pour a little bit more water on it. So for me, you know, my thing is I just stay in it with them. I stay in it with them. I don't switch up on them. And as long as they're committed, I'm committed. As long as they're not, when they refuse to commit, then I don't commit. But it doesn't hurt me.
Right.
I have a famous saying. It's like two. I always tell artists, I gotta love you poor. Because I'm only gonna like you when you get rich. And if I only like you when you're poor, I'm gonna hate you when you get rich. Because you're gonna turn into a worse person.
Right.
And I forgot the other one, but it'll come to me. I see somebody reciting it, so I'm like, he told me. I like.
Let me
see you, Drake. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this: How do you pick and choose artists to work with? Like now, like if you see it's gonna be.
I don't want to work with no artists now.
Why not though?
I'm just tired of them.
But you have the sauce. Like you've done this time of
artists will have to work with me. I'm not working with them no more.
So what does that look like on paper? Like structurally, how does that
I don't
work?
really care. See, that's what I'm saying. So I don't care about paperwork. I don't care what it says. Paperwork can say you got to pay me a certain amount of money by Friday. And if you don't pay me, that just means I got to file more paperwork that's going to cost me more money to get paid. It's never just that simple.
Okay. So what do they have to do to obtain you, to have you be like, okay, you're going to come into management? Are you going to come give me a publishing deal?
I'll put it to you like this.
How does that work?
I have thousands of hours of footage of me talking.
Okay.
Online. If I have to tell you the things that I say online, then I don't want to work with you anyway. Because the information is there. Okay. You heard what I just said? I said the guy from Reebok, nobody sent it to me. I saw something and I dived into it to understand it. Like I want to be great. My goal has always been being committed to greatness. Okay. The greatness in the field that I play in. Because I believe that if you're great, you don't have to worry about getting paid and you don't have to worry about how long you're going to be doing it because you're committed to the greatness part of it, the work part of it.
Right.
So, you know, when I'm working with artists, it's just, if you really want to work with me, I mean, like I tell them now, I'm like, I'm not stopping the bus to make sure you walk you to your seat to say, here's where you sit. Are you comfortable there? I'm not doing that again.
So you're not picking up talent either.
I'm not, they're going to have to jump on.
Okay.
I have I have a staff, I have a studio, I have access. And if you have all access to that and you still need me to stop and talk to you,
right?
I won't work with you in the first place.
Okay. So yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, I'm not like here, look at it like this standpoint. If I'm an artist, this is how I would look at it. Over 36 million songs were uploaded last year.
Okay.
Out of the 36 million, maybe 10,000 came from the majors. That means we got 35,990,090, whatever the number is. We have that many songs being uploaded from people just like you and myself. So that means you're taking time to make music. You're taking time to upload your music. You're taking time to put it out, but you're not taking time how to figure out how to make it work.
So let me ask you that. From working as an executive, is that a turnoff for you when you know that the numbers are that slim? Because that's like the NBA. Like if it's hard for you.
I'm glad you said that. So okay, look at it like this. This the NBA.
Right.
But all of us are teams.
Right.
Right. I'm just saying I'm not drafting no players.
Okay. That's clear.
No. I'm saying if you walk on and you want to, right. I'm like the San Antonio Spurs.
Okay.
Right. I'm like the Miami Heat. Like I believe in the system.
Okay.
Because
I can respect that.
And then if you get the right players for the system, like for example, are you familiar with sports like basketball?
Yes.
Okay, so Jimmy Butler, he was a great player, but when he got with the Heat, he went to the finals twice.
Yeah, he's up.
Why? Because he has a team that has the same dedication to the work as he does. That's why it works. Meanwhile, you got other players who's worried about their contract. They're worried about minutes. They're worried about points. The only thing I want people to worry about is the W's or the lessons. It's either wins and lessons if you on my team. And if you can't take that, then I'm not the person for you. And I don't really have, and I'm naturally, my heart is open. So when I take somebody in, I take them in. Like, I got artists that I signed 5 years ago that's in jail right now. Been in jail. Trey been in jail 2 years. All he's saying is when I get out, he want to come here. Like, I'm not turning my back on him, but he going to come do the work.
Do you ever feel like you can suffer from like industry PTSD from dealing with so many artists in like the way that you guys break up?
Absolutely.
How does that affect you?
I'm not looking for any more.
Right.
It's like it's like anything in life. If you are looking for it,
right,
like physically looking for something, that means you're leaving your position, right? Because I'm going over there, And what I believe is if you stay in position and do your part, you attract everything to you. Okay. So instead of looking, I say become a magnet. So I don't believe in chasing. Like, that's why I started my pod. I swear to God, right. it was literally one of my artists right there. I called him and I said, hey, let's just make content for 6 months straight.
Right.
So I really wanted him to do it.
Right.
But I just kept going.
That was my next question. Like, what made you want to expose yourself to the people even more on this level?
Because it's unfair for me to ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do. It's me sitting down with an artist, like I'm sitting down with you saying, it's easy. Just turn the camera on and talk. Tell people what you want. They like,
right.
All right, somebody put a camera on me. Let me show you. And then I did it. And then my stuff started taking off more than everybody else around me. But the reason why is not because I'm better. It's not why. It's because I'm authentic. And artists don't like to be authentic. They want to be super version themselves. They want to show everybody Superman highlights, but they don't want to show them the Clark Kent struggles. But how the hell you think Clark Kent, Superman, they're the same person? We don't care about Superman without Clark Kent story. The same way we don't care about Batman without Bruce Wayne story. We don't care about like the Peter Parker. It's the same thing. Which artists are superheroes, but they only want to show the highlight reel. They're afraid to say, I'm broke. They're afraid to say, I'm lost. They're afraid to say, I'm struggling. But that's what life's about. So as artists now want to they want to give a guy like me, I put the jewelry on them, I put the money in their pocket, and they come out like, look, I'm a made man. No one cares because they know I gave it to you. They want to see you earn it. I know everybody talking about Michael Jordan's team. And the only other player we really mentioned is Scottie Pippen, and then maybe Dennis Rodman.
Nobody said Paxson.
Nobody talks about Kerr, Paxson. Nobody talks about those guys.
Right.
That doesn't mean that those guys didn't win 6 championships. It just means that Jordan was the leader of the team, or the best player, whatever it is. But everybody won.
Definitely. And so now you feel like you're completely open to the people now. Like now that you came from behind the scenes, now it's like I can show the world
everything I give you guys on a podcast is the same thing I give my son who's sitting right there. Like I don't tell nobody nothing that I wouldn't tell my family. I don't tell no artist nothing that I wouldn't tell myself. I am literally doing it myself. Now that this podcast is working, I'm in the artist seat now.
Okay.
So because I'm sitting in the artist seat, I got to understand what comes with that, right? So it'd be times where I don't want, like, bro, I'm being honest with you. I don't want to be here on a Sunday.
Right.
Playoff start weekend, I don't want to be here.
Right.
But this is my job.
Right.
And I don't complain, and I'll come here ready to work.
Okay.
So I'm trying to be the example for artists and everybody else in my life. That's how I try to be. But what I'm realizing is that the example is kind of weird because like I'm trying to be the example to show them, but I'm winning from it. And now they're looking at me like, do you care about me? No, I do care about you, but I'm doing the same thing I'm telling you to do.
Right.
Just do it with me.
I can respect that because when you started doing the podcast, it was just like you planted a seed and it just took off like immediately, effectively. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? My team are telling me like, yo, check him out. This is what he got going on. And as I did my research, I'm like, yeah, you're going hard in the paint right now.
Yeah.
People don't know how to do that. People don't know how to be consistent.
But you know what it is? Everything people do is for other people. And that's why so many people are hurt and mad and down. Right. Because everything they're doing is like, this is how I like to describe the music business. This is how I like to describe everything in life. And if anybody with me, they're going to hear me tell this story. It's 2 types of people. First day of school, you lay that outfit out night before.
Right.
You like, I'm going to kill him tomorrow. Ooh, I'm going to kill him. We all done been there before.
Right.
Right? And then you go to school and nobody acknowledge your outfit.
I've seen that.
2 types of people.
Right.
You can get mad at them because they acknowledge your outfit, but they didn't even know they were supposed to acknowledge your outfit. They didn't know that you laid that outfit out the night before and was trying to impress.
Right.
Only you knew that.
Right.
So either you gonna go home and try it again tomorrow,
right,
or you're gonna say F those guys and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
But how you saying F somebody that didn't even know that they was a part of your story? They didn't know they were supposed to react to your story. So my thing is I say everything I do, I just put it out there. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I've tried to figure out why it didn't work. I don't celebrate when it works and I don't cry when it doesn't, because that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it because it is a part of my job description.
Right.
It is me committing to greatness. That's why I do it. If I do it for the audience, I would have been killed myself.
You lost.
I would have been killed myself because I would have been like, why they don't celebrate me? Why they not clapping for me? Well, who gives a? Can you curse on here? Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares if they not celebrating you? Support is overrated. I'm so tired of people, artists ask for support. It's such a waste of time.
So speaking of support, when you got into this field of doing podcasts, did you get a lot of support coming in?
No. Hell no.
Because remember when you said you went into the labels, right? When you was young, you got into the labels, you said it was like the bank, right? So you go inside the bank and you trying to figure out like how this whole thing is structured.
Yep.
What was the worst thing that you could have seen when you came into this side of the game, when you went into this type of bank?
Well,
did you?
That's a good question. Well, when I never stopped being on the outside.
Right.
So I never stopped running my own company. I never stopped having my own motion.
Right.
Like I said, I could have easily been, I was making great money, $400,000 or $500,000 a year. I could have easily sat back and have been like, this is the life.
Right.
But then I would see so many of my peers walking around with their chest out about something great that they had. Like I remember specifically, I saw this dude like, I got the next Beyonce. And I remember thinking like, you see how funny that is now?
Right.
Think about how, but look, that's because of how committed Beyonce is to the work.
Right.
That's why it's funny. But when he said that, I was like, how do you know that? And I'm thinking to myself, how would the bank know that they invest in this like it's the next Beyonce? So I wanted to go inside to learn how to be a better manager. And what I realized is that the labels didn't know it either. They didn't know shit either. They didn't know either. Like, so now you start realizing the power that the people on the outside give the people on the inside by saying, help me, teach me, do this. And they don't even know the answer. Right. So guess what? While you asking for help, they could just sit there quiet. And watch the whole room beg and say, that's the one we want. You don't even realize that they need you. They need you, but the way you presented it is like, can someone sign me? Can someone check me out? Can someone give me an opportunity? So you're asking someone who doesn't know anything to empower you with something that they don't even know how to do.
How are you going to duplicate something that you never even seen the work though?
Okay, so that's the thing. So then what you got to understand is now you get to the point.
Right.
The real key is the artist.
Right.
It's like that shirt you got on. Mm-hmm. Did you buy that shirt?
Yeah, my homeboy from LA sent it.
Okay. Did you buy the hat?
Yeah.
Where you buy that?
Lids.
When you went into Lids, did the people that own that hat say to you, yo, what's up, bro? How you doing? I got the perfect hat for you.
Nah, they didn't do that.
You just saw a hat you like, you bought it. Mm-hmm. That's what it's like working with artists. Artists think that I can make the world like you, like they're the hat. Like I can put you in a place in the store where people will buy you. Bro, if they're not buying you, it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with how they see you. Mm-hmm. So what artists are should be trying to figure out is how to change their relationship with the world. Mm-hmm. They want to change how the world looks at them. No, you got to change your relationship with the world. You still want them, you're still empowering them. The world don't have power over me. I'm going to wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do the same thing every day. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do the job that whatever it takes, I'm going to do it. And I don't stop and then when I'm done, I go home. And then I reflect and I might figure out what I could have did better, what I did right. But the one thing I don't pay attention to is I don't keep score. Because now that's when you get depressed. Look at how they doing. Look how I'm doing. Nah. It's your time. It's all God's timing. Just keep going.
I feel like a lot of people do that. That's why I try to minimize social media intake because it's so hard to wake up in the morning and take on everybody's emotions.
Yeah, but artists have that problem too. But my thing is, you have to look at what they're doing, right?
Right.
Like one guy might have $100,000 in his pocket by having a $100 suit. The other guy might have a $100,000 suit on with jewelry and everything, but have $100 in his pocket. By the way, if you pay attention to the truth, you can always really figure out the answer. Mm-hmm. That's what people don't understand. So when people see me, you're going to say to yourself, where does Ray get his money from?
Mhm.
You know I get my money from. You know what I do. You know everything I got going on. So
Mhm.
now everything I do, I have taking people on the journey with me. And that's what I
Right.
keep trying to tell people they need to do. Just go on the journey. And who cares if no one's watching? You and God are watching. And that should be enough for you.
Right, definitely.
And you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, and then it's just like, it's a lot of things that contradict us. And I just kind of get into the weeds of it. Like, why am I worried if I believe?
Definitely.
I can't worry if I believe. I just got to believe, do, and then tomorrow might be the day. Today might be the day. You just never know.
So what should be the mindset of an artist that's entering the game like right now?
The mindset of an artist should be figuring out how to create a relationship with a direct to consumer relationship with an audience that costs you nothing.
Mhm.
If you're an artist, it's weird that I have more motion than all my artists, and they think it's because I have more money. They don't understand this. I just have more commitment in me than they do.
Mhm.
I want to cry too. I want to quit too. I want to go home too. I want all the same thing you want. But I know that I want to win more than anything else.
So how do you tell that to an artist that wants to commit, that has been burnt in the industry multiple times? Like they dealt with this manager, they dealt with that manager. Because you got to understand, like I've been in Atlanta since 2013. I came here working with Deb once I got here.
Mhm.
Like I was under her. So I seen a lot of stuff, and I seen, how the industry works and with other people. And I've talked to artists. I'm a DJ. I've worked with a lot of
Sure.
artists. So how do you cope with them? Like, how do you help them get through that phase? I've been through 3 managers. Nobody ain't take me nowhere. I done spent my budget. I done went on a little tour here and there, whatever, but nothing's amounted from this. How do you talk to them? Like, what do they need to hear to make them still stay committed?
The first job of a manager is to manage expectations.
Mhm.
That's the first job of a manager.
Mhm.
So if I meet DJ Waffles and we're about to work together, if DJ Waffles thinks because he started working with Ray Daniels, he's going to be making $1 million in the next 6 months, then that means that I'm mismanaging the expectations of
Right.
yourself, which means in 6 months, you're going to be pissed. Even if you get to $500,000, it's still not $1 million that you
Right,
thought.
that's right.
So I tell you, manage your expectations. I tell you to erase expectations. Just be appreciative that you can wake up tomorrow and try.
Mhm.
If you can wake up tomorrow and try, do that every day. And then let it play out the way it will. It always plays out in your favor.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Would you take on an artist who's more content driven or that has few relationships in the streets? Like they got maybe like 200 supporters, but somebody that's content driven on social media that can really do numbers on social media?
That's a good
What?
question. I would rather take on an artist that could do social media numbers because I know how to make. I know how to make hits with everybody. So if I give you a hit and you're going to promote it, we're going to be fine.
So what if the person that's on social media running up the numbers but can't put ass in seats?
No, they better put ass in seats.
Huh.
If you can put eyes on you, you can put ass in seats. If you can maintain attention, you can maintain ass in seats. Because let me tell you something, people are showing up for everything now. That's another thing no one's paying attention to. It's so easy to get ass in seats now. All you gotta do is just say, we shoot a live podcast / photo shoot where we're cooking food and we're smoking weed at the same time. And it's an immersive experience. You're gonna have some asses in the seats. You have some asses in the seats.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So it's not hard to get people out because especially after the pandemic, post-pandemic, everybody wants to be outside.
Right.
So give people a reason to be outside and they'll be outside. How many concerts have you seen footage of where you see 1,000 people in the room singing lyrics to a song that you've never heard before?
Right.
That happens all the time. That's just because those 1,000 people were tapped in and they put their asses in them seats.
What was life for Ray during COVID?
I was prepared for it, man. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like, dog, I'm glad I don't have no bad habits.
Right.
Every dollar I get, I take home to my family before I spend anything in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So when the COVID came, it was just like, I was prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
I paid my house off. I owned all my cars.
Mm-hmm.
I was just enjoying having land and enjoying being safe, honestly.
Mm-hmm. So speaking about family, tell me about the 3 Gs, like the 3 generations.
Well, they go 1G right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Well, I think that the Black community, we lack male conversations.
Right.
These young Black men out here, that's why they're killing themselves. They're killing each other. That's why they're hurting each other, because they don't know how to talk to each other. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to get to the bottom of why I feel that way. Like if I ever feel anger towards someone, I don't go with the anger. I ask myself, why did that make me so mad?
Right.
Like, how could someone I don't know, or even I do know, someone who is not me, have that much control over how I feel today? So
Right.
I think that the 3G concept came from my uncle, myself, and my son. We were speaking about something one day, and it was just like a random conversation. I was like, man, this needs to be filmed.
Right.
And it was like, I was like, nah, seriously, we're gonna do a podcast. Because it felt like one of the, it's a famous scene from the Cosby Show where Theo is like he gives his dad this great speech where he's like, I'm this, I'm that, I want to be able to make my own decisions, I want to do it this way and that way, and the audience claps for Theo. And then Bill Cosby said, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Because that's what black fathers are. I don't care what the world says.
Right.
I don't care if they're telling you need to do that. It's what I said.
Right.
And for me, that's what 3Gs was. It was like, I feel like people see me and they're like, oh, this guy got it together, or this guy does this. And I'm like, nah, bro, the one thing, I'm just not afraid to talk shit out. So I sit my son down, I sit my uncle down, and let's just talk about life and how we see it. Because we don't have enough man talk, especially in this. If they are talking, they're usually talking about their rich guys telling you how to get rich. Their health guys trying to tell you how to get healthy. You know what I'm trying to say? And for me, it's like watching this guy, myself, talk to his child. To me, I thought that was very powerful, because it's like, what do the rich teach their children? What do the successful teach their children? Because that's what we would all like to teach our children, right? Like, if you ain't got nothing, you want.
I agree with you.
So for me, it's like, well, let me give the people the opportunity to see how I talk to my son, how I talk, how we interact, how he thinks. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's the point. And plus, I wanted to show him that you just got to create sometimes. Because my son is like, he has a huge personality. I think he's a star. But I'm like, yo, why don't you, he loves sport. I'm like, why don't you do a podcast? And he's like, I've been thinking about it. Like, what should be? What's this? I was like, you know what? You thinking too much. We're going to shoot a podcast. And I just literally just put a camera on. We just start talking. I'm like, then we put it out. And I'm like, and then the first time we put out the episode, a clip went viral. A clip that we didn't even put out. It was just somebody else took it, put it out, and it went viral. And he was like, how do they know that? I'm like, son, you stop worrying about the world. Just put your best effort out. The world will repay you. The world is a give and take thing. You just got to just try it.
Yeah, because when I seen it, I was like, wait a minute. I seen your socks and everything. I'm like, wait a minute. Is he
I'm at the house.
Couch.
I'm at the house.
So when I seen that, I was like, oh, this is happening.
And I took my shoes off on purpose, by the way, because I wanted people to see I'm at home.
See, and that's the eye. Yeah. That's the eye watching.
That's exactly. So like, damn, he at the house. It was some dude commented like, man, him and that young kid is really close right now. Why are they sitting so close? And I'm like, that's my son. But see, that's the world we live in. And sometimes you got to show, in spite of what people say, keep going forward. So to me, if the podcast does nothing, I don't care. The most important thing is I'm teaching him that all you got to do is do it.
Okay.
That's the only reason why I started doing the podcast. I wanted to show my son, all you gotta do is do it. So now he's doing it. And now he realizes, so when he's in 18, 19 and his friends are like, what we gonna do, what we gonna do? He gonna be like, nigga, let's just do it.
Right.
My dad taught me that, so there it is.
So do you feel like you're dictating the culture right now? When it comes to
I feel like the culture is dictating itself. But I do feel like there are a lot of voices out there who are fucking the culture up.
Right.
Who are, like, I feel like black women are over-sexualizing themselves, and as long as money is involved, that's cool. Why we can't say anything about that? Like, you know, who would say something about that?
Right.
Daddy. Who you worry about when you wearing your clothes outside, looking at, making daddy? Daddy don't care what the world thinks. I don't care if you love me. I don't care if you hate me. I don't give a, my job is to make sure that you're ready when you step out this door. So to me, I'm just being, like, my dream for myself was I wanted to be America's black father. Like Bill Cosby was that. Steve Harvey is that. I wanted to be America's black father. Like, but from a cool standpoint, the hip hop father.
How do you know when you got to that point? Like, how do you know what that feels
the point
like,
of what?
Being that dad. Because that's when
when I have grown men who are like over 21, like looking to me almost like a father figure of advice of how to live life. Like even now, I'm at this stage in my life, I still desire a father figure. Right. The closest that I got is my uncles. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But like, I still would love that. They can't help me when it comes to money. They can't help me when it comes to business. They can't help me with that.
So who do you look for? Who do you look for to talk to when it comes to those places? When you're when you need more information and you want to be guided more. Besides God, we know that God is like.
No, I watch. That's why I just watch podcasts. I watch interviews. Okay. I feel like I hate when people say I don't have a mentor. That's bullshit. YouTube has a 100 million gazillion hours of
but that-
videos
but-
of information if you want it. It is there. This world we live in right now is the greatest time to be alive, to be ambitious, to be anything, because no one can stop us. Like, you literally can take your phone, and if you don't have a phone, take your friend's phone, film something dope, upload it to the world, and now the world knows you. Like, that is how easy it is.
Right. So I'm saying the part of like the mentorship, like you said, you could get on YouTube and you could get all this information at a push of a button. But how do you get that person like, this is the conversation that I want?
Yeah.
I don't want virtual. Virtual does nothing for me. Yeah, I'm gonna ingest it and I'm gonna probably take 2 or 3 things, but I'm not gonna get what Ray talks to be about.
I love that you said that.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you deal with that? If you
My-
really want, if that's what you want.
First, my father instinct just kicked in. You was
Okay.
talking about what you want, and I'm telling you what you need.
Okay.
So of course you want somebody in the house. Of course you want somebody there. But if you don't have it, what are you going to do? Die? No. You need it. Go get it however you can get it. It is out there. Like, dog, you can learn how to do anything right now. Anyone in the world can learn how to do anything from anywhere in the world right now because of the internet, because of YouTube. And you mean to tell me you still waiting for somebody to pull up to you and give you some advice?
I feel like that's gonna be there, but it still feel like it doesn't replace the human person that I would want.
Okay, so let me tell you this. I would love if Jay-Z mentored me. Of course I would. But Jay-Z has goals. So that's why that goes back to what I just told you. When you asked me about an artist, I said I don't look for artists. I don't stop. They can jump on my boat and ride my boat all day. I don't mind that.
Right.
But you're gonna follow my rules, you're gonna act like us, and if you don't, we're gonna throw your ass off the side and you're gonna swim to somebody else's boat. It's just that simple.
Right, I get that.
You see what I'm trying to say?
I can respect that.
So for me, it's like, dog, like, I can't get caught up in semantics. I can't get caught up in what's my favorite, what's not my favorite. I can't get caught up in none of that. All I can focus on is what I have, what God gave me, and what I can do with that. And if we all did that, we'll all be better. But the problem is most of us have this entitlement of, well, I want that. Of course you want that. Shit, I don't want to work. I want to be able to live the life I live without working, but I ain't got there yet. So shit, I'm still working. It's that simple. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, I hear what you want. Right. You know what I'm saying? But right now I'm not focused on wants. I'm focusing on needs.
Definitely.
Of course, you want to breathe clean air, but shit, we only can breathe is what's around us right now. So we breathe. No, you don't stop breathing because the air ain't clean. You just get through that shit.
Definitely. All right. So what's next for Ray?
I'm really excited about 3Gs.
Okay.
I'm excited about my book I just wrote that I
Nice.
think is going to be, I know it's going to be a New York Times bestseller. And man, for me, honestly, man, I don't have a destination in my mind. I just have a direction where I'm going and I'm enjoying it. I got my family with me. We have fun. We have fun on the way to the work. I have fun on the way leaving the work. That's me, man. It's like, as long as I got the people I love around me, bro, it's
Nice.
love.
Definitely. Well, y'all heard it here first, man. It's your boy DJ Waffles on check-in. Let everybody know how they can follow you on social media, Ray.
Ray Daniels everywhere. At Ray Daniels on Instagram. I think TikTok was Ray.Daniels. But man, just search for Ray Daniels. And it's another one in the city, and he's not me. I don't do radio. It's
Yo,
Ray
look,
Daniels.
that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother
I
day.
had to say that out loud.
Yeah. I think that was your inside voice talking loud because somebody thought that was you and they was like, I'm not coming. I'm like, oh, did I say that too? My bad.
No,
all right,
it's true.
listen.
But you know what it is though? Radio is a dangerous game. And
I agree.
you know, you're gonna have problems in radio. So I'm glad that's why I don't want to get in it.
Definitely. So before we go, we definitely got to get you to lock in with me in the kitchen.
Okay. For
'Cause
sure.
I don't know if you know how to cook. I don't
Nah.
know. That makes it even more better. So
Yeah, I don't know. I'm learning other stuff right now. I don't want to. I'm not a cooker. I think it's
Ray. You gotta come on the show. You see it right there.
No, I see my boy Michael. Shout out to Mike McDonald. That's my boy.
You got to come on there.
I'm
And I
down.
gotta show you how to cook.
I'm just telling you that I don't know how. That's nothing I tell people.
What do you eat then? Well,
I mean, I eat out every day, but I don't.
That's not
I don't miss a
good.
meal.
that's not good.
I don't miss a meal, but I just think that my talents are better spent doing something other than learning how to cook. Like I feel like unless
Ray.
I'm being honest with you, I don't believe in.
Ray, what
taking
if they leave you stranded by yourself and you ain't got the phone? Like you can't call Uber Eats or DoorDash. Like what are we doing?
Man, I'm Ray Daniels. I'm saying like wherever I go on God's green earth,
You gonna
I'm
find a way to
gonna
eat?
find a way to eat. somebody. There's somebody. You see, I pass you out about cooking,
Right.
Exactly. I'm gonna run into a you that's gonna be telling me you gotta learn how to do this, man. I'm like, thank you. Meanwhile, give me the plate. I want to learn how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's probably gonna be me too. Like, yo, bro, I know I got you. Don't even worry about
but
it.
I'll come on for sure. I mean, but I just as a man, it's like I mean, I would eat out the pot, bro. Like it's just.
Yeah, you're aggressive. You're aggressive. So y'all heard it here first, man. Make sure y'all stay locked, man. Make sure y'all subscribe below. Shout out to my guy Ray Daniels. See y'all next time. Hey, bow.
We out. Thanks for having me. That was easy.
Pain can make you